Warning: this video may not be suitable for all ages, so be careful, guys. The manhwa begins with the fact that the mother asks our protagonist if he took lunch, workbooks, and assignments with him, to which he replies that he got everything and he's not a child yet, and if anybody overhears them, they would think he's a student, not a teacher. The mother says that he is still a child to her. A mother always wants to take care of her son. She reminds him that just last week, he forgot his assignment and had to come back in a hurry. Then since he was late, he had to waste money on a taxi. The protagonist screams that it was only once, but the mother asks if he doesn't have any other clothes because he wears the same shirt every day. She says this is the reason why he gets ignored sometimes, and an adult should know how to dress up, and when she asks him to go shopping with her for clothes, he always refuses to accompany her. The protagonist embarrassedly asks his mother that who at his age will go shopping with his mother, and asks her not to talk about it. He says he's late and leaves. The mother thinks to herself that if she were his birth mother, would he have listened to her? So it turns out that she is not her own mother. While our hero goes to work, two girls are passing by. One of them teases the other, saying, "Your boyfriend is passing by." He thinks that he really doesn't want to go to work at all, and this makes him even more pissed off. He also says that he won't be this schoolgirl's boyfriend even if they beg him because he loves older women. He arrives at his workplace and looks at a man's poster in front of the building saying, "Bastard, you are doing great." The hero sits down at the computer. Suddenly, a man whom the hero saw on the poster in front of the building enters the office and attracts everyone's attention. He is asked if he saw the billboard outside, and in response, he answers that it's so embarrassing. Our protagonist thinks about how their star is a little late, but no one even dares to say anything. Suddenly, they make eye contact. The guy approaches the protagonist and asks him, "What's up with your face? Why does it seem like, every time I see you, you are always in a bad mood or something?" He replies that he is fine, and there is no need to worry about him. The colleague tells him to smile a little more often, because he's sure that students will like it too. To these words, the protagonist asks him to move away a bit, because it's so hot here. The guy asks our hero about the notes he asked for. He notifies him that he copied them and put them on his desk. The man thanks him and says that he will treat him to a coffee later. The hero explains that Junbeom is a star instructor at this famous cram school. He is also his childhood friend, and they have known each other for 10 years. They became friends simply because the two of them have stepmothers. However, his father is the chairman of the board of this academy, which he himself founded, while our protagonist's father was an employee under his dad. And it continued to be the same for them, their children. Nothing has changed. The protagonist stands up and starts walking. He says that it's not that he's not thankful to Junbeom, because he got this job only after his recommendation. If he's considered a loser by society, then it's obvious to all that Junbeom is the clear winner. He explains that when he was a kid, he was the one who was smart and hardworking, but now it doesn't matter anymore. The hero walks into the classroom and tells the students to calm down. He hopes that the students were preparing for the lesson, because he will start going deeper into the topic. He hears from one of the girls in the class that she says, "Hey, that's your boyfriend who passed us by this morning." Hearing this, the hero gets very angry, saying that he can't stand it at all. On the next page, he's sitting at the corridor and thinking to himself that he really can't do this anymore. If he could, he would quit and leave right now, but there is nothing else that he can do. While he is in this thought, a certain woman passes by him, and it seems to him as if she is his stepmother. But in fact, he was mistaken. Realizing his mistake, he apologizes to her. For a second, he really believes she was his mom, but that's not her. The hero wonders what made him mistake her for his mother. The protagonist begins to examine the woman intently. Seeing this, she asks, "What's wrong? Why are you staring at me?" The hero asks her if she is here for admission consultation. The woman replies that this is true, and asks who he is, to which he answers that he's an instructor at this academy. He asks her if she is satisfied by their academy's results. In response, she says yes, but the registration fee is very expensive, so she is a little worried. The hero says that's right. It's quite expensive here, maybe because this place is famous. They stare at each other for a few moments without talking. Then the woman asks if he's finished and can she go. And after wishing a good day from our hero, she leaves. While the woman's walking away from him, she thinks to herself, what a weird guy. At this time, the protagonist thinks that this is not normal. He is in his late 20s and has not even dated anyone till now. He also tells himself, you should know who you are talking to, you idiot. Then he goes back to the class. In the evening, the hero pays attention to the clock and says that it's already this late, so he should head back. He says to himself, time flies when I start doing paperwork, while he's collecting his stuff, but suddenly he can't find his file and wonders if he left it in the classroom. Meanwhile, his phone rings. It's a notification from his mom that asks if his lecture was good today and asks him to come home quickly because she bought meat for dinner. The hero says that he always felt like a loser, but sometimes it seems to him that this life is also not so bad either, while he walks to the classroom to pick up his file. It's not enough, but he still makes decent money, and when he goes back home, he has mom waiting for him with her delicious food. In its own way, this can be considered acceptable, or he had convinced himself of it that, actually, this mediocre life was not that bad. The hero wants to go into the classroom to quickly collect documents and go home to eat dinner. But suddenly, he hears some weird sounds. At first, he thinks that a couple of students are doing bodyweight exercises, saying, kids these days are no joke. I'm sure you guys know what doing bodyweight exercises means here. But he realizes that this is not like the voice of students, and opens the door a little. What he sees shocks him. He sees an adult man and a woman who is kneeling in front of him. He pays more attention and discovers that the man is unveiled. He asks her to stop whining and suck his muscle between his legs, saying, you know I'm a busy man, right? The hero wonders with whom unveiled is exercising. Meanwhile, the woman replies, I understand, which makes our hero know her. She is the woman he saw in the corridor and looks like his mom. At this time, the woman begins to open unveiled's pants zipper to do some exercises. As she does so, his gains twitch out. unveiled asks her that why she is so surprised, and if she has never seen such a big gain before. He also asks her, is this not what you wanted? Come on, don't waste my time anymore. Hearing this, she starts doing what he wants her to do. Seeing this, our hero wonders why she is doing mouth exercises for him and what is going on. The next few pages show the woman doing mouth and tongue exercises. These exercises make unveiled feel good. As you know, exercise is good for our health and makes us feel better. Watching this makes our hero feel weird. These exercises are so difficult, which makes them sweat. Because it is good to drink liquids while exercising, he gives her a lot of high-protein milk, which makes her cough. unveiled tells the woman that she is so good at this exercise, it got the muscles between his legs so hard. And he asks her if she does this mouth exercise for his husband like this as well. Hearing this, she gets a little angry and mentions that she told him not to mention her husband and asks him to hurry up and finish the exercise. He says that he was just kidding and asks her to show him her chest gains. To these words, she takes off her clothes. Seeing her gains, he admires her and says that married women with children are in a league of their own after all. And that's absolutely right because mature women are grown, so they have better muscles and gains. Then he takes out a protection from his wallet and gives it to her, saying, put it on my muscle and get on top, and tells her that if she finds it troublesome to do it with her hand, she can use her mouth. She takes it and asks if he will really do what he promised. In response, he says that he doesn't want to repeat the same thing twice and asks her to put it on his muscle. Meanwhile, the protagonist is still watching and wonders what unveiled promised to do. He also wonders if they are really planning to exercise here. The woman takes off the rest of her clothes to do the main exercises. She sits on him to do bodyweight exercises. At this time, unveiled tells her that he will stay still and asks her to do it by. Then she starts the special exercise. Based on her face, it is clear that this exercise is difficult. So unveiled asks her which is better, his muscle or her husband's muscle. She answers breathlessly, yours is bigger and harder. After a while, she feels even more pleasure, but he tells her not to enjoy it by herself and asks her to keep moving her body. She continues squatting. This exercise is so effective for growing glutes, and as you can see, this lady got perfect glutes, which are the result of this exercise. Junbeom also does some mouth exercise for her at the same time. After a few moments, she can't continue. Seeing this, he asks her, "What happened?" It turns out that she lost strength. As you know, the squat is so difficult exercise. Junbeom says that there is nothing much they can do and asks her to stand up. At this time, they hear a noise from the door, and our hero is worried that they noticed him. But it seems like Junbeom doesn't care about the noise. He grabs the woman's hand, pulls her, and bends her over against the door to do another exercise. The woman also wonders why he did this so suddenly. But he doesn't answer her and begins to exercise. As he does this, the protagonist falls on the ground. Meanwhile, his phone, which has fallen on the ground as well, rings. The hero is sure that they noticed him, so he quickly picks up his phone and runs away.